Dolphins are in the bye week, okay? So they get to rest, relax, recharge, and get ready for the second half of the season. They'll get Rob Hunt back, I believe. They'll definitely get a Chan back. So they're going to be pretty close to healthy outside of Isaiah Wynn, which is pretty awesome for the second half. And let's hope that they can stay healthy from here on out and get some luck. It would be nice for the Dolphins to start getting some breaks because, man, our Dolphins have not been getting breaks for like a quarter century now. Kind of tired of everything going against them. But, one of the things that we've talked about, it's kind of been a theme today because if you saw the Matt Verderame interview, we were talking about how Miami's offense has a thing about it gets punched in the mouth and it doesn't respond. And that doesn't necessarily mean about being on the old line where there's I'm talking about everything. Your receivers, your running backs, your O-line, your quarterbacks, your tight ends, your head coach, your offensive coordinator, whatever. They all get punched in the mouth and they don't respond the way they're supposed to against the elite teams, right? Well, one of the things is you need to become a tougher team. And part of it is the coach having to stick with the run at times. That will make you more of a physical team. Because if you're able to punch people in the mouth like you did on those consecutive runs by Mostert, and if you would have kept it going, and you close out the game that way, that sends a message. That's an exclamation point that we can beat you through the air. And if we want to line up and put the hand on the ground, we're going to shove the ball down your throat. Well, the other way you shove the ball down their throat is by passing the ball. But here's the difference. You're doing it with a lot of speed, a lot of finesse, separation. You're doing it with a lot of play design, all those things that are freeing your guys up. Well, what about the physical nature of the game? This is a team that does not have a tight end. They just don't have it. They were using Smythe early on, and I'm almost starting to think that Smythe might be a better average pass catcher than he is an average blocker. After watching him screw up so many blocks, including the enormous block that he missed this week that caused a fumble with Tyreek Hill. Here's where Mike McDaniel, Chase Claypool, and Cedric Wilson come in. And it is time for you to maybe add an element to your inside passing game. And while Braxton Berrios is fantastic as a slot receiver, he is also small like your outside receivers. And what Tua needs is, like any other quarterback that isn't a tall quarterback, give him bigger targets. Make life a little easier on him and make it harder on the defense. I don't care about Chase Claypool having to learn the whole playbook. Where I do disagree with Mike McDaniel, he can learn a couple of plays. Anybody can learn a couple of plays. The kid went to Notre Dame. He has to have half a brain. They just don't recruit you at Notre Dame and you're a moron. Okay? If they recruit you to Notre Dame, they know that at that school, you're going to have to kind of actually like hit the books. So you're going to need at least half a brain. Okay? Some schools around, I won't mention them, they don't care if you have a tenth of a brain left. They'll get you by. Okay? All right? Just a little push and you'll be flying. Just a little Billy Joel line. They'll give you that push. But at Notre Dame, you're going to have to hit the books. So he's got some intelligence. Don't tell me he can't learn to catch the ball on a couple routes in the middle of the field with that big-ass body of his. And Cedric Wilson showed you by catching the touchdown, but use him in those kind of situations. Not with the game on the line, and he has to be on the same page. Use him in other situations where he can develop that kind of chemistry. But Cedric Wilson is 6'2". This kid, Claypool, 6'4". You are not great at tight end. Start becoming more of a physical presence in the middle of the field with those two guys. Okay. And by the way, they can also help out in the running game. I saw Chase block. You got big body receivers out there. They will help you in the second level also when you are running. So let's see if in the second half of the season, I told you in the pregame against Kansas City, use Cedric Wilson against Trent McDuffie. Because even though Trent McDuffie's played well, he's 5'10", and Cedric Wilson is 6'2". And you threw the touchdown pass to him, and McDuffie did not have a chance because Cedric's the better player and he can high point the ball better, just like Chase Claypool can. Use the size to your advantage. While Durham Smythe cannot be trusted either way, these guys are at least accomplished receivers. But you're not asking them to play a huge role. You're asking them to play a complementary role in the middle of the field and create more of a physical presence. Punish these safeties with Chase Claypool. They don't want to cover Chase Claypool. They don't want to have to tackle Chase Claypool. Trust me. So please get a little bit more tougher at that wide receiver spot and start to use the size that you do have there. That size, I think, will open it up for some of the guys with speed. And remember, the safeties have to worry about the guys with speed. That still allows Chase Claypool to play or Cedric to play a lot of one-on-one, which if it's not a tall corner, which usually your slot corners are not tall. So that's one thing that I think you could add, an element that you can add to this game to become a little bit more of a physical presence on offense.